We hope you enjoy listening to this podcast of St. Louis on the Air, brought to you by University College at Washington University, with undergraduate and graduate programs part-time, evening, and online. University College at Washington University, offering world-class education within reach.
Variety Theater is celebrating its 10th anniversary with a new production. Disney's Little Mermaid opens at the Two Hill Performing Arts Center next week and includes an ensemble of young performers with various disabilities who perform on and off stage. The cast will also include Terrence Mann, a Broadway veteran and four-time Tony Award nominee. He joins me in studio along with Jan Albus, Variety Theater's Chief Executive Officer, and Selah Harris, who is in The Little Mermaid, and this is her fifth production. Welcome to you all. Great to have you.
Hello. Thanks for having us.
I don't mean to set a pun here, make a pun, but I'll start with you, Jan. Set the stage for us, if you will, as to what Variety Theater and the Variety Children's Charity is all about. Not everybody is familiar, though they should be.
Yes, we're 80 years old, over 80 years old here in St. Louis. And our mission is to serve children with disabilities from the time they were born until 21, every time they need it. And we have we have 9 specific programs that we do this with. One of them is performing arts with the Variety Theater. And the whole goal is to give these children skills, socialization, independence, and self-confidence, no matter what the program may be.
Let me turn to Selah now, one of the young stars of The Little Mermaid and 4 other productions. What got you into it, Selah?
My parents were both, my parents both loved acting, and they still do. And unfortunately, they had too many kids that they couldn't do acting, but they are still very good. So I kind of inherited that love for acting. So I watched several of the plays before I got into it. And then my first production was in 2013 with Peter Pan.
Peter Pan. And what role are you playing in this one?
I'm in the teen ensemble.
All right. Terrence Mann, you prefer Terry or Terrence?
Terry.
Terry. This is a long way from Broadway. What brought you to St. Louis with this particular production?
My agent called me up and said, I just got a call from the Children's Variety Charity, and they want you to come out and do King Triton in Little Mermaid for their show. And I went, what? What is it? And then he explained to me what it was. I went online, I looked at it, I saw Jan Albus's name, and I went, yeah, I want to go do this. I mean, it just all was for the right reasons at the right time, and I've always been involved with the National Dance Institute in New York City and working with them, and I have kids of my own, and so like I said, the timing was right, and Jan and I talked, and after I talked to her, I was completely smitten.
Jan, I guess it's very pleasant to have someone of Terry's stature to join your group.
Well, it's really wonderful, and what he has done just in the small amount of time he's been here with rehearsals has been so inspiring for the cast, the crew, the children. They're all very excited about this. This is a great thing for our 10th anniversary, and so we're very excited to have brought him in, not just for cast and crew, but for the audience in St. Louis.
Oh, absolutely. We'll get back to some of the roles that you played on Broadway. Some of them really quite remarkable performances from what I've been able to determine. But Selah, what do you learn from someone like Terry?
I learned that it's really amazing because people look at me and think that, like, not everyone, but people generally think that people with disabilities are lower than other people, but, like, the opportunity that I get to be able to perform with someone like that shows me that there's not like much that I can't do.
Go ahead, Terry.
I was just going to say, I'm not sure there is much that Selah could learn from me or anybody else. She's on her way. She's as good as it gets. I mean, she's an actor. She's funny. She knows what's going on out there. And all of the kids that are involved with the variety through the rehearsal process, I've just been I've just been amazed at their commitment to it, and the fact that you only got to tell them one time, go here and do this, and everybody knows exactly what they're doing, where they're supposed to be, know when to sing, know when to dance, know when to be funny. It's an extraordinary environment for them to be able to realize that they can do anything they want to do.
Jan, it really is quite remarkable to see these young people who do rise to the occasion on the stage and do find their way through this particular medium, that is theater.
Yes, theater is so important for children, for everyone, in terms of fulfilling their life. I think when in the spring, back in the spring, when Judy Newmark was on your show announcing the St. Louis Theater Circle Awards, she just said that in terms of variety theater, it's a different way of looking at the world. So we're doing classic musical theater productions, like you always see with the professional cast, full orchestra, the whole 9 yards. It just so happens that the children's chorus is made up of children of all abilities, and they are folded in within this beautiful show. The time, as soon as the scene happens, as soon as it starts, you just realize that they belong. Yeah. It's important to belong. Yeah.
It's a pretty big cast, Selah, isn't it? I mean, you've got to have a lot of people on and off stage there at one time or another. Yeah.
It's very busy. What I've learned from backstage is it's very busy, but it's also it's amazing because backstage you are sometimes stressed, but it's also amazing because it's so fast paced that I love it. But it is a very big cast.
Not all of the young people involved, Selah, are on stage. I mean, a lot of them are working crew, as I understand it, behind the scenes, correct?
Yeah, there are interns for all the different things, like lighting, costumes, props, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, some of the variety children even will intern for stuff like that.
Where do you want to take this? Do you have aspirations to become an actor?
Yes, I definitely do. Actually, since my first variety show as Jane, I knew, this is what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. No matter how hard it is to get there, I'm going to get there because it's amazing.
Terry, that's the kind of attitude you've got to have to make it in anything, but particularly in show business, I would think. We
were talking about right before we came on with you about focus and passion, and when do you get it? And when I was about 15 years old, I did a piece of theater, and I went, I got it. Everything made sense to me. This is what I wanted to learn, and and Selah's well on her way. As long as you're being fulfilled by it, and and it's something you want to get up every morning and makes you joyfully go do. You can't ask for more than that.
It's not always easy, I know, and there are 4 performances, and we'll give the dates on those and details in just a moment. But you've been rehearsing for a couple of weeks now, so you were going at it for quite a while for 4 performances. Mm-hmm. Is that typical?
When I've done regional theater in the past, normally you rehearse for about 10 days. And I'm talking about big musicals, those old war horses like the South Pacifics and the Music Mans and the My Fair Ladies and the But you rehearse for a couple of weeks, and then you've got about 2 days of tech, and then you run that show for the 6 days. But it's all about that process of getting there, everybody immediately becoming an ensemble and a family and doing this amazing storytelling and putting it on for whether it's 6 performances or 600 performances, it's getting to that first one that makes the difference.
That connection, we've had a number of people on the program who are in theater, and they really say that connection is terrifically important. Evita is playing now in St. Louis, and we had one of the stars there, and he said, we just gelled right away, and the performance has just excelled as a result of this chemistry.
Sure, because you have to. I mean, because you have to learn all these lines, learn all this music, learn all this choreography. And I tell my students where I teach that if you're taking care of everybody else out there, then you're going to be taken care of when you're on stage. And because this sense of trust and just learning how to rely on people on stage in that immediate moment is a huge learning curve for all of us all the time.
Jan, how difficult is it to put something like this together year after year?
Well, it is a big production, and it takes a really great team. And as I said, we're celebrating 10 years, and 12 people that were on the original production team are still with it. So we have accumulated, if you will, the information, the experience that we need year to year. And we do great big debriefs at the end. How do we get better? How do we make these performances more important in terms of the lives of everyone, especially the children, since variety theater is part of our whole mission overall for the charity. Yeah. It's wonderful to be considered a professional theater as well as being a charity. And we know we have our roots in the entertainment business anyway. Back over 80 years ago, the first variety child was left in a movie theater. An abandoned child. Really? And so the people that moved in to support and help that child were all show business people. So we go way back, and here's where we are now, and we're extremely thrilled. We'll have over 7,000 people starting on the 18th of this month through the 21st for the 6 performances. We've been doing that now for the 4 years.
There are 6 performances? I thought there were only 4.
There are 6 performances. Oh. And yes, so at the Two Hill, to sell out, it's 7,000 people, and that's what we've been doing now for the past 4 years.
That's from the 18th through the 21st.
Right.
And there were 6 performances. Right. Well, yes. I'm sorry that I misspoke earlier when I said 4 performances. Selah, how have you grown over the time that you've been doing this, and professionally and artistically, do you think?
I think the way I've grown most is knowing that this thing is not going to come easy for me because I'm in a wheelchair, and it's hard because there are some things that I need to learn and work harder than other people to learn. So I think the thing that I've learned the most is to never give up, because it's just, this has taught me to never give up because I haven't, and now I'm here on my 5th production with variety theater with Terrence Mann. So, yeah.
Terry, obviously Selah is quite impressed by you, and we all should be when going over your credits. So one of our producers was particularly struck by the role of Javert in Les Mis, which is a terrific role and a terrific show. Let's talk about that for a moment in terms of recognizing when you're in something that becomes such a tremendous hit. I mean, Les Mis is played all over the world. It's been going for a long time. Yeah. What's it like being part of that? Do you know were you with it from the beginning, and did you know that what you had in your hands? Well,
I did, and if I can just go back for a second, I did Cats with the same director and producers and designers before in 1982, and because those shows had been big successes in London, and this was the beginning of the British invasion of musicals, and because heretofore America was the only country that could really do musicals, and now the British were showing us how they could do it. So when Cats came over, it was a huge hit. There was a $5 million advance in the box office in America. So, and I got the job there. And the first thing I thought was, wow, I'm going to be employed for at least 2 years. That's nice. And when does that ever happen, because long runs at that time, these mega long runs didn't exist. And all of a sudden, here we are 17 years, 20 years, 30 years later with all these other musicals. So I did that show. Then I went on to do a couple other things. And Les Mis came along. And it was the same artistic staff, and I got lucky and got hired in Les Mis. And I knew that was a sort of a seminal moment in theater that changed the game, because it was a hugely dramatic piece of theatrical musical storytelling. And that wasn't lost on me or the rest of us. And, oh, by the way, I knew I'd be employed for a long time if I could, by doing it. So there's been a few, like Oklahoma was one of those cornerstones. I think Chorus Line became one of those cornerstones. Certainly Les Mis became one. Hamilton has become one, where these are game changers that change the scope and what we thought was capable.
I wanted to bring that up. We had Stephen Sondheim on the program a couple of days ago. Yeah. And he needs no further introduction, anybody who's familiar with theater, needless to say. But I asked him about Hamilton, and he refused to talk about it. He said, I absolutely refuse to talk about other people's work. Okay, fair enough. But Hamilton, it seems to me, is changing theater and has changed theater. Given the diversity of within the production,
right,
and the style of the music, the rap, if you will. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, it's one thing to have a musical that's a rap musical, and it's another thing to do a storytelling about historical figures like Hamilton, like a 1776. But it's quite another thing to have somebody like a Lin-Manuel Miranda who can take that vernacular, that rap idiom of music today, and put lyrics that are smart, informational, funny, but also further the storytelling, and wrap it all up in a bunch of music that's contemporary, and then cast the whole thing with diverse cultures in the show, which just makes this incredible statement of what we are as a country, and I think that's where all of these disparate sort of parts met and created this incredible understanding of who we are, what the framers of the Constitution really meant today in 2018, and how it reached a generation of people that are born now or over the last 20 years, the 20-year-olds, the millennials, I guess, and how it speaks to them. That musical speaks up to people. It talks about the indomitability of the human spirit and the lofty notion of what we can be as a country. And that's not lost on the folks who've gone to see it, nor its success.
Well, pretty clearly, you're excited about that and about what it meant and can mean.
Yeah, I am. I'm excited about good storytelling, no matter what it is. And to Selah's point a little bit, when she was talking, great storytelling doesn't have a disability. It doesn't know disability. Anybody can be a great storyteller, and you create that out of your own sense of passion and being able to connect with people.
And Jan, the diversity, as Terry was talking about with regard to Hamilton, is something that you're very much involved in, just the way you assembled your cast of youngsters like Selah.
Yes, it just means so much for these children to have this opportunity. And I think that's the most important thing when we think about diversity. And it's two things. It's access and it's opportunity. And once you provide both of those things, you're going to have a better world. And really, the whole theater program just grew out of a chorus of children singing, who all of a sudden showed an aptitude for some movement, for understanding of choreography and advancing a story, how things are pulled together like that. And so it just occurred that, they might be able to do something really special if you gave them a professional opportunity. A lot of the things I had seen heretofore were very dumbed down. Were very just weren't what you would call a great advancement for these children. Sure enough, we put them in a professional experience, and there you go, voila, there they were, right up to tune. They do not cower away from anything that has to do with brilliance, importance, and how they feel about theater.
Yeah, Selah, are you familiar with Hamilton?
Yes, I love that show. Although I haven't seen it, I've only listened to the soundtrack, but I love it.
Well, you're familiar with the concept, and as Terry was just talking about the diversity, do you see in that opportunities for yourself in the future? The fact that this kind of diversity is making its presence felt on stage on Broadway. Yeah,
I'm really happy that that happens, because I have several throughout my life, I have been worried that life isn't going to work out because I'm different. But then hearing that, and also with variety gives me peace, because I can know that there are people out there who will accept me, and I'll be able to live a more normal life.
Jan, that's got to be very inspiring to you to hear a young person like Selah saying this, and you've heard it before over the years, I'm sure.
This is true, and the most important thing that we can do with these programs is what happens after the program. This young lady is now involved in a lot of things that she never would have been before. She can take the stage at any point in time. She's just been in a competition recently. She has her bearings, she has her self-confidence, and when you see this transference of skills and the embedded self-confidence that arises out of this, that makes it all worthwhile. That's why we're doing it.
We can hear the confidence. I don't think that there's any denying that. And Terry Mann, what are you going to take back, do you think, from St. Louis after this experience and this with this particular group?
Well, every time I stand there on the stage while we're doing this production and I see everybody out there being this, we're all the same. We all are arriving to do the same kind of storytelling, whether we're tall or short or whether we're a special needs. But everybody knows exactly. I don't know. It's so hard to explain. It's just a reaffirmation of faith in humanity that we need so much right now.
Mm-hmm.
Hear, hear. I think we can all agree with that. Well, congratulations to all of you for bringing the production this far. We'll look forward to seeing it. Once again, I'll give those dates. It's going to be The Little Mermaid at the Two Hill Center of Performing Arts, October 18th through the 21st. There will be 6 performances. I misled everybody by saying 4, but 6 performances. We'll have information on that on our website. I want to thank you so much, Terrence Mann, for being with us. Congratulations on all your success, by the way.
Thank you.
Jan Albus, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, Don.
Selah Harris, good luck to you. We'll be looking for you on stage
Thank you.
and on the marquee.
Thank you.
Thanks. Good luck to you all.
Thanks.
Support comes from Missouri Forest Products Association, committed to sustainable and sound conservation of the state's forests, which support more than 41,000 Missouri jobs, resulting in a $10 billion industry. ChooseWood.com.